Oh, hello. Haloi. Ich exhuse discora. And welcome to Ikrel Lesson 2. I started off saying hello. I said paloi. Paloi means hello. You can also say peroniel. Peroniel is like greetings. Greetings. Paloi. Hello. Peroniel. Greetings. If you want to just say like hey, you have moi. Moi. And then what I ended the last video off with was bekor. Bekor means goodbye. Bekor. To introduce yourself in Ikrel, you say ich exhuse. That's what I keep saying. Hallo, ich exhuse discora. I'm saying hello, I am called discora, and that is ich exhuse, and then your name.
Hey, editing Discord here, stopping at this ever so flattering image of myself to tell you that I forgot to say it in this take, but in Ikrel you can't say I am and then a name, you have to say I am called and then your name. Because in Ikrel it is thought that you can't be a name, but you can be called one instead. So, thank you, and back to the video.
So, maybe you can try. You can say ich exhuse glibidibidoo. I don't know your name. Jibubadoo. I have no clue. Yeah. Ich exhuse enacts the passive voice. It uses the passive voice. And to form the passive voice in Ikrel, one would have to implement something that I have kind of started calling, I like to call pronoun stacking. I don't know if there's like an actual word for this, but it's where you kind of like put the accusative pronoun right before the word. That's why it's ich exhuse. If you saw the last video, eggs means me, and ich means I. So it's literally I, me, call. Another thing to form the passive voice is you conjugate it for this person. So in ich exhuse, that's the first person conjugation. Which, speaking of conjugations, that's what I wanted to get into next. Here are the conjugations for the ERN and EN endings. These are 2 of the 6 possible endings for verbs. There are ERN, EN, AN, ON, URN, and IN. But yeah, we're going to start with the word huzan, which means to call. That's used in I am called. So huzan, to call. And the first person is ich huse. You just put a little instead of an. So you just take away the an and put a little you replace it with And with du, instead of just you also put a t, little ts sound. So du huzets, du huzets. And then for the third person, you add, instead of an, you put a. So it's full huzet, full huzet. Then for the first person plural, including the person you're talking to, kosa, you don't change it at all. So it's just kosa huzan. Kosa huzan. But if you're using like the one where you're excluding the person you're talking to, it's like all of us, but not you. We, but not you. Krit you add an eep. Krit huzit. You see this character that it looks like it should make the it sound. According to Ikrel Lesson 1, it makes the is sound. And that is true, mostly. But if the I, which the letter name is in, if in happens before the t, d, and ch sound, that little dash that we talked about in the last video, it turns into e. So it turns into eat, eed, and ich. That's why ich is just spelled with the I and a dash. Then we have which I talked about in the last video, is an obviate third person. So that, just to recap, is a third person who isn't as important to the sentence. So like, imagine I'm saying, Johnny told John. He told him. That second him, that's a different he. But not the first he that was originally in the sentence. It's kind of confusing sometimes in English. In Ikrel, you have a different pronoun for that. It's and it's conjugated the same as the third person. So it's huzeh. one calls. Ook is also used for impersonal statements or impersonal things. So like one calls, or one names, one does, one whatever. It's like saying one in English. Last one we have to worry about for today is the command form, which you just add a eggy on. So it's hezegi. So if I were to say, call me to Skora, I'm telling you to call me to Skora, that's a command of some sort. So you use the command form. And so I'd say, hezegi eggs to Skora. Now if I wanted to be nice, I'd say, nilak, which is please. Actually, I'll write that out right now for you with my pen. Nilak. Nilak. That's how you say please. But that's not all. I don't want to just leave you with the ability to conjugate verbs without actually having any verbs to conjugate. Why would I do that? That's silly. What kind of person would I be if I did that? So I have a list of 12 verbs and 2 bonus words. Well, not verbs. 12 verbs, 2 bonus words. First, we have yanen, which may seem kind of strange at first because the ERN ending looks like it's right there, right before the EN ending, but it is an EN ending, so that little an part, you keep that. So it's ich yana, du yanet, full yanet, kosa yanen, and krit, yanit, krit yanit. We go, not you go though. No. The next one is generen. That means to move. Then we have koblesen, which means told. So if I were to say, ich koblese de, this is a tree by the way. Ich koblese de Alkazoi, the tree. I am holding the tree, which yes I am currently doing, so I don't fall out of it. Alkazoi is the accusative form of tree. We'll get over that in the next video, the accusative case. My hair is going crazy. Ich koblese de Alkazoi. I'm holding the tree. Then we have one that I thought was pretty neat. It's shapuren, which means to compliment. Not like, yes, your outfit's amazing. No, it's more like, no. It means, it's the one spelled with an E, which means to go well with something. So like, this tree goes well with the ground that it's on. That's, this tree, shaporeth, the ground. This jacket, shaporeth, eggs, I think. I hope so. Then the next one, we have foren, which means to miss. Foren. I didn't realize it until after I made the word. But if you say I miss you, it sounds like E Freddy. It says Ich foredi. E Freddy. It just kind of sounds like that. Then we have a word that I think is important to say. To love. Blitzen. Not the reindeer. It sounds like the reindeer name. Okay. Yeah. But to say I love you is Ich blitze die. So say that to everyone you love. Ich blitze die. We have gleperen, which means to intrigue. If you wanted to say I am intrigued, that also uses the passive voice. So you can just say Ich eggs glepera. And that is I am intrigued. Another fun fact about the passive voice in Ikrel is you can often, if it's just Ich eggs glepera or something like that, Ich eggs that's like I am, but you can just kind of cut the first nominative pronoun just so you have the accusative pronoun. So like ex glepera, that's kind of like I'm. It's like the nominative is often kind of dropped for speed. So you can say ex glepera, like I'm intrigued. Ex glepera, yeah. And then we probably have the opposite of to intrigue, which is ngamazen, to annoy. Ex ngamaze. I'm so cringe. I am cringe. Okay. Then we have kanan, which means to follow. So if I were to say like I follow you or I am following you, that sounds stocky. I'm not going to say that. They follow them. This is actually good practice for the pronouns. So the first one is the one we're talking about. Fool, that's the more important one. Follows them. that would be a different one than already previously stated. So it's going to be which, if you remember, the accusative form of is oyer. So, full khaneh, oyer. And then we have to have, which is haben. Sounds a bit like German. Oh no, whoopsie. Anyway, and then another one that I think is pretty important is ngazan, which means to make. I made a crow. Still making a crow. Ich ngaza Ikrel. And we have something that I did today, which is dithan, to walk. Dithan. Ich dithe. I am walking. I walk. Another fun thing about Ikrel is there's not a specific ing, so you just say I walk for I am walking. No, pretty easy. Like ich dithe. I'm walking. And then the two bonus words both mean also. We have mua. Imagine someone says, I love trees. I just love them. Ich blitze olkazoi. You can say, I also love trees. That also would be mua. And in the Ikrel, you put that after the verb. So, I love also trees. Ich blitze mua olkazos. It's, I also love trees. And then we also have another also, which is tsaf. This also is like, I also like this. Not in the way of like, I like trees. I also like cars. I sound like I'm in a cartoon right now. Oh no. I'm cringe again. But yeah, if you said, I like cars, and then you said, I also like trees, you would say tsaf. Tsaf. It's like that TS sound again. Tsaf. And that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching this video. I'm still, again, as I said, very new to this recording stuff and YouTube stuff. I am quite literally in a tree. It is actually far down, so I'm hoping I do not fall. I plan on hopefully recording shorts like every other day, maybe a small vlog like short, either talking Ikrel or talking about Ikrel, and hopefully giving a new word. Maybe not every day, but more often, so I can just kind of have like a dictionary of words almost, you know? Like one day I can be like, oh, this is a tree. Orcas. This is a tree. In Ikrel, it's called an orcas. I think that'd be pretty cool. I can talk about different fun words. Thank you for watching again. I'll see you in Ikrel lesson 3, where I'm hoping to go over the an endings, the articles, and the accusative case. And I will see you then. Bekor!